Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. There are moments in every believer's life when they feel utterly alone, when no one seems to understand their struggles, aspirations, or pain. But what if this loneliness is not random? What if it's part of Allah's divine plan to nurture and strengthen you? My dear brothers and sisters, isolation can feel like a heavy burden. Yet, it is often a sign of Allah's mercy. At times, Allah separates you from others, not to punish you, but to purify your heart, uplift your faith, and prepare you for something far greater. Take a moment to reflect. Could this period of solitude be Allah's way of equipping you for a bigger purpose? Find a quiet place and listen attentively, for, inshallah, the reasons we are about to discuss may reshape your perspective on loneliness. Reason 1. The wisdom behind isolation. Let's face it, feeling isolated isn't easy. It makes you question yourself, wondering why relationships drift apart or why you're no longer part of certain circles. But have you considered this? What if Allah is protecting you? Sometimes, the greatest blessings are hidden within trials we can't yet comprehend. Think of a precious gem. Its shine is preserved by safeguarding it from anything that could tarnish it. Similarly, Allah, in His infinite wisdom, knows the value of your heart and shields it from influences that might harm its purity. When Allah removes these distractions, He doesn't leave you empty. Instead, He grants you something far greater, a unique opportunity to realign your focus and strengthen your connection with Him. In isolation, your focus shifts. You begin to reflect on your life, your deeds, and your relationship with Allah. It's in these quiet moments where true growth happens, when your du'as become more sincere, your salah more meaningful, and your heart more connected to your Creator. The Quran beautifully reminds us, "And it may be that you dislike a thing while it is good for you, and you like a thing while it is bad for you. And Allah knows, while you know not." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:216. That you dislike a thing while it is good for you, and you love a thing while it is bad for you. And Allah knows, while you know not. So the next time you feel alone, don't rush to fill the silence. See it as a gift, a moment Allah has chosen for you to grow, purify your heart, and draw closer to Him. Number 2. A test to strengthen your patience. Patience isn't easy, especially in today's world where everyone seems to be chasing instant results. My dear brothers and sisters, we live in a time where success is measured by how fast you can achieve something. The idea of waiting, trusting, or enduring has become foreign. But here's the truth. True patience is revealed not when you have everything, but when you feel like you have nothing. The Quran beautifully says, "And whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him." Surah At-Talaq 65:3. Then He is sufficient for him. Indeed, Allah will accomplish His purpose. Think about it. How often do we hear people say, "If only I had more money, all my problems would be solved." Or, "If I could just get that one opportunity, everything would fall into place." These thoughts, though commonplace, reflect our reliance on temporary things rather than on Allah, who controls everything. Money, resources, and people are just tools. They're not the source of our provision. Patience is tested in those moments when you don't see results immediately, when your hard work doesn't pay off right away, or when life takes an unexpected turn. It's in these moments that Allah is shaping your character, teaching you to trust Him completely. The lesson isn't just about waiting, it's about where your heart leans while you wait. So, the next time you feel impatient or defeated, remind yourself, Allah's plan is always better than your own. What He withholds from you today might be the very thing that saves you tomorrow. Trust in Him, not in the temporary means around you, and you'll find peace that no worldly success can offer. Number 3. the gift of clarity through isolation. Sometimes, Allah isolates you to give you something invaluable: clarity. In the busyness of life, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. My dear brothers and sisters, when Allah pulls you away from distractions, it's His way of helping you see what you might have overlooked. You reflect on your intentions, your actions, and whether you're truly living in alignment with your faith. But let's be honest. Many of us have become so consumed by the glitter of this dunya that we forget our real purpose. We chase after things that won't last and neglect the one thing that truly matters: our akhirah. This is where solitude becomes a blessing. It forces you to pause and ask yourself, where am I heading? Allah reminds us of this in the Quran. The day when neither wealth nor children will benefit anyone, except one who comes to Allah with a sound heart. Surah Ash-Shu'ara 26, 88-89. Nor children will benefit anyone, but only one who comes to Allah with a sound heart. Think of it like this. In the chaos of the world, it's easy to forget the destination. But when Allah pulls you aside, He's giving you a chance to reset your compass, to reflect on whether you're walking the right path or being led astray by distractions. And this isn't just about preparation, it's about protection. Just like Prophet Musa, alayhi salam, was prepared in solitude for a greater mission, your isolation might be your chance to reconnect with Allah and rediscover the purity of your purpose. Number 4. The hidden blessing in being overlooked. Have you ever worked hard for something only to feel like no one even noticed? It's frustrating, isn't it? My dear brothers and sisters, we live in a time where recognition feels like the ultimate goal. But what if being overlooked is Allah's way of protecting your intentions? In Surah Al-Baqarah 2:195, Allah says, "Indeed, Allah loves those who do good." When we seek constant validation from others, it's easy to forget why we're doing what we do. But when no one is watching, your actions become purely for Allah. It's an opportunity to develop sincerity and humility, free from the distractions of praise or criticism. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said, Allah loves the servant who is pious, content, and unnoticed. Imagine planting a seed in a quiet, hidden place. No one watches it grow, but when it finally blooms, its beauty speaks for itself. That's your deeds. They don't need the spotlight to be valuable, because Allah sees every effort you make, no matter how small or unnoticed it may seem. So, if you feel invisible, embrace it. Use this time to cultivate sincerity in your worship, knowing that what truly matters isn't how others see you, but how Allah values your actions. Number 5. When isolation reveals your true strength. Have you ever wondered how strong you really are? My dear brothers and sisters, sometimes Allah places us in isolation to show us the resilience and potential we never knew we had. It's in those moments of loneliness where we discover our ability to endure, to grow, and to rely solely on Allah. Allah mentions in Surah Al-Ankabut 29:2, "Do the people think that they will be left to say, 'We believe,' and they will not be tested?" Let me ask you this. When was the last time you faced a challenge that made you question your own strength? Was it losing a friend, a job, or feeling left out of a group you once belonged to? These experiences aren't just tests, they're opportunities. They force you to dig deep and find strength in places you didn't think existed. Think about this. If everything in life came easily, would you ever push yourself to grow? Would you ever turn to Allah with the same sincerity? Isolation isn't just a time of hardship. It's a training ground for the soul. It teaches you to rely on Allah when no one else is there, to find hope when everything seems dark, and to rise stronger than you ever were before. So, the next time you feel alone, ask yourself, what is Allah teaching me in this moment? What strength is He helping me uncover? Because when you come out of this test, you won't just survive, you'll thrive. Number 6. Isolation as a mirror for the soul. My dear brothers and sisters, have you ever taken a moment to ask yourself, what have I done today to please Allah? And what have I done that might displease Him? In the chaos of life, we rarely stop to reflect on these questions. But when Allah isolates you, He's giving you the perfect opportunity to do just that. Allah advises us in the Quran, Surah Al-Hashr 59:18. O you who have believed, fear Allah, and let every soul look to what it has put forth for tomorrow, and fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is acquainted with what you do. Think of this time as your personal accounting session. When you're away from distractions, it's the perfect moment to sit with yourself and take an honest look at your life. How many good deeds have you done? How many times have you fallen short? And more importantly, what are you doing to change that? It's not about guilt. It's about growth. Imagine standing before Allah on the Day of Judgment with a heart that's clean and deeds that speak for themselves. Isolation gives you the chance to align your actions with that vision. Use this time to seek forgiveness, to make amends, and to promise yourself that moving forward, every action will be for Allah's sake. Because in the end, no one else will answer for your life but you. So, why not start preparing now while you still can? Number 7. Isolation refines your intentions. My dear brothers and sisters, have you ever asked yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? Is it for the sake of Allah, or is it to impress others? These are questions we rarely pause to consider, but isolation has a way of bringing them to the surface. When you're surrounded by people, it's easy to get caught up in seeking their approval. You might find yourself doing good deeds with the hope that someone notices, or working hard just to earn praise. But in isolation, there's no one to impress, no audience, no applause. And that's when your intentions are truly tested. Allah says in the Quran, Surah Al-Bayyinah 98 verse 5, and they were not commanded except to worship Allah, being sincere to Him in religion, inclining to truth. Isolation strips away the distractions and helps you ask yourself, am I doing this for Allah or for the world? It's a painful but necessary process of refining your heart. Imagine polishing a diamond. It's not easy, but the result is something pure and valuable. That's what isolation does for your intentions. So, the next time you feel alone, don't see it as a punishment. See it as a moment Allah has given you to cleanse your heart and purify your worship. Because when your actions are sincere, even the smallest deed becomes significant in the eyes of Allah. As we come to the end, my dear brothers and sisters, let's reflect on the beauty of Allah's wisdom. Isolation isn't a punishment. It's an opportunity to grow, to reconnect, and to refine yourself for something greater. Remember, the world may not always understand your journey, but Allah sees every step you take, every effort you make, and every tear you shed. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, reminded us that the most beloved deeds to Allah are those done consistently, even if they are small. The next time you find yourself feeling alone, take a moment to breathe deeply and remind yourself that this solitude is a sign of Allah's immense love for you. Use this time wisely, reflect on your life, seek forgiveness, and rebuild your connection with Allah. Above all, trust that Allah's plan for you is far greater than anything you can imagine. Here's a simple dua to hold on to. Ya Allah, guide me to see the wisdom in my trials and grant me the strength to overcome them. If this message touched your heart, share this dua in the comments. Ya Allah, guide me to wisdom and strength. Your words could be the source of inspiration for someone else seeking strength in their solitude. Before you leave, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's a small gesture, but it helps us tremendously in sharing these reminders. Jazakallahu khair for watching, and may Allah always bless and guide you.